What's up, guys? It's 1 a.m. Just taking off from Singapore.
Needless to say, I keep a check. She was a bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my
Nice view. Not bad. I mean, the construction's kind of weird, but the green is nice. What's up, guys? It is 11:20. I just got done checking in and freshening up a bit, and now I'm gonna go out to get something to eat. Initially, I thought it'd be like breakfast, but now it's kind of like lunch. I'm trying to find dessert, but it's hard to find anything without egg. We woke up early for the conference and started getting ready immediately. I was pretty nervous for our first conference as a company, but also excited to see what it would be like. Search funds have been absolutely exploding in the past 2 years, and this conference is proof of that growth. INSEAD Singapore campus is hosting Asia's largest acquisition conference so far. 200 plus attendees with over $100 million in deals done, acquisitions, exits, investments, and more. At the conference, there are the founders from the first search funds from all over Asia: Australia, China, Singapore, Thailand. INSEAD has done an amazing job in curating the panels and putting up this event.
Woke up in London yesterday, found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really know how I got here. I got some pictures on my phone.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. And thank you to the panelists for this discussion. Yes, now better. Okay. Well, welcome again, and thank you to the panelists. We have the unenviable task of trying to explain what's happening in APAC in an hour. With such a diverse region, it's going to be quite difficult. But luckily, I have 4 panelists with me in our conference. Before we get going, my name is Tyson Bungard. I'm the founder of Lighthaven. It's an APAC-focused fund of search funds. I've been operating for about 18 months now. When we talk about ETA and search during this conversation right now, we're going to focus primarily on what we call traditional search, what Alana just talked about. So the numbers we just saw on the board for traditional search funds. There's many other forms of ETA, especially self-funded search. But just to let you know, for this conversation right now, we're a bit more skewed towards the traditional, because that's the
Hi everyone, my name is Anurag. I've been searching in India for the last 6 months or so now, formally, and about 10 months informally, which is 4 months overlapping with fundraising and searching put together. Prior to this, by the way, I was raising capital while I was here at INSEAD last year. So during my MBA program in the middle of the year last year, I started raising capital. Got very lucky to be able to raise capital towards the end of the year, or rather the start of this year, and then start searching. Very excited to be back.
Hey class. The keen-eyed amongst you will see that's the photo from my CV of me. Obviously dates it quite a lot. I moved to Australia after my MBA, and then in 2019 launched the first traditional search fund in the market. I searched for 2.5 years, and then in November 21, so 4 years ago, I acquired a software business that serves the aged care market, so old people's homes, in Australia. So I've been operating that for 4 years, and very happy to be back and speak to you today.
Hi, I'm Snow, the first searcher in China. A Yale MBA, I graduated in 2023, and the first day of my search is the beginning of 2024. So let's see what will happen in China.
Hi, morning. Eisuke from Japan. I'm the third traditional search fund in Japan and the first partnering search fund. My partner, Hai, stay in Japan now. He's working now. After 18 months of my search journey, I acquired a jigsaw puzzle company this spring, this April, and now I'm operating for 7 months. So today I'm happy to speak with you. Thank you.
One shortage we do not have in any of these markets. We are continually surprised to see how many great people want to go and do this and just didn't think it was possible. And that's we need businesses to buy, we need capital, and all of that should be enabled by some kind of structure that works. So ideally something that mirrors the way that it's been done in other markets, and international investors can get comfortable. And if you break down those three quickly, talent, I think that's where the real opportunity sits. I think it's the one shortage we do not have in any of these markets. We are continually surprised to see how many great people want to go and do this and just didn't think it was possible. And that's changed drastically in the past 3-4 years. We now go to Search Fund Club conferences, sessions all over the world. When we did this 5 years ago, that work needs to happen. And the unfortunate thing for that first 2 or 3 searchers is they have to figure the structure out while they're trying to close a deal, while they're trying to get local investors over the line, while they're trying to get board members that can help them. And it's really difficult being one of the first searchers in these markets. And typically we've seen they tend to be solo searchers as well. So we take our hats off. We're so incredibly grateful and proud of all these pioneering searchers that go and do really difficult things, because it's just very different being the first in a new market than being the 50th in a world that none of these issues exist.
Just out of interest, how many first to market searches do we have here? Maybe raise your hand if you are. Round of applause for these.
It's one of the simplest but hardest things to do in the search. It's, you will fall in love only a very few times in the search with deals. And when you're in love, like, everything else goes away. Like, oh, no, this is the deal. This is the
That's a type. Some people are more polygamous than others, but on average.
But having an accountability partner, I think, is key. If you're a solo searcher, it doesn't have to be your partner, but try and reach out to an investor and set in some form of accountability mechanism, whether it's a reporting to just someone, and say, hey, here's my pipeline, here are the deals I'm looking at, this is what's going on. I'm still working on this deal, this is what's coming up. Because I think if you don't have that, it's very easy to just forget everything, go in this deal, and I mean, my experience was, I almost lost the deal that I did the day before we were due to complete, and the seller called me in tears saying, sorry, the deal's off. And so this could have gone one of 2 ways. Fortunately for me, they reconsidered and I acquired, but if I didn't, and at that time my pipeline was not great. I was, thinking I was buying her business the next day. So I think it's critical to just have that accountability partner.
And it's most critical when you're a solo searcher, right? Because when you're a partner, maybe one is more engaged in the deal under LOI, the other one can work on the pipeline. When you're solo, you have to leverage your interns, associates, other people to create the deal flow for you, but you still have to be somewhat engaged in that early flirting exercises. Now, we have a lot of topics to cover, but one that is also important that I'd like to touch upon, and I'll have Ryan share his perspective, because increasingly we see in the world of VT and search funds add-ons as a value creation strategy. So once the searcher buys a business, they grow it organically, but oftentimes they do add-ons. And that is a totally different game of search. It's a totally different game of building rapport.
Please.
Finally reached back to the hotel. Excited to wind down and chill for a bit. The conference went fucking amazing, man. It really went so good. I can't believe the amount of information that has gone into my brain and the amount of insight that I've gotten from it. Everybody that I met was so welcoming, so warm, so helpful, and this just really showed me that I've made the right choice, with the ecosystem that I've chosen. Finally back home in Bombay. What's up, guys? Finally back home in Bombay after 2 weeks of traveling. Had a really hectic trip, but honestly extremely fun and productive and just all round amazing. Before I sort of decompress, and reflect on the past 2 weeks from a professional point of view in terms of what we learned, the people that we met, the networks that we now have access to, and the opportunities that we discovered, the journey that Pocket Fund has been on, and how just crazy it is that literally 2 years ago we had just made our first acquisition for $4,000. 2 years ago, that's not long ago at all. And in just those 2 years, we've gone from acquiring our first business to acquiring 6 businesses, exiting our first startup for a 50x return on what we bought it for, and now we're advising on 7 to 8 figure deals. We're working with PE firms, search funds, VC-backed startups, doing something that quite frankly nobody else in the market does. And it just blows my mind how much can happen in 2 years. Overall, honestly, the conference was an 11 out of 10 for us. I really don't know how it could have gone any better. I also did not go into it with any expectations as such. I really just wanted to meet people, learn, and just grow the brand awareness of Pocket Fund. Right, so I think those goals were definitely absolutely smashed, and I got a lot more than what I was expecting, which is just being able to meet with some of the top investors that are investing in acquisitions across Asia. Right, being able to interact with such high performing entrepreneurs who have either acquired a business or are looking to acquire a business. Being able to learn from the mistakes people made in their search, and just generally being able to learn from people that are exactly where I want to be but 10 years ahead or 20 years ahead, which is something that's generally extremely hard for me to find. And at this conference there were literally dozens of them in one room. And especially the right step, for us as a young company right now, it's very difficult to know what direction should we go in. It's very difficult to increase our brand value, increase our awareness. So something like this really lends a lot to that, right? Adds a lot of value to that. So generally I think the conference was more than worth it for us. I'm very excited to see how we can double down on this, how we can take this forward, right?